Shutter Sports Refresh. This is the weekly show bringing you all the most important news in sports. I'm your host, Lucky Roberts, and let's get right into it. This week, much like the last couple of weeks, it's full of exciting playoff news. A ton of different sports are reaching the ends of their seasons, but none more exciting than the Champions League in European soccer. For the last few months, the best teams in Europe have been battling for playoff matches, and it's finally come down to one last match between the Italian side Inter Milan and the French team PSG. The match went down on Saturday, and it was dominated by PSG from start to end. They started things off with 2 goals in the first 20 minutes and sealed the win with 3 more goals in the last 30. PSG dominated the entire game, taking 23 shots to Inter Milan's 8. Desiree Doué was the key player for PSG in this one, scoring 2 goals, sealed the deal for PSG. Congratulations to PSG on their first ever Champions League win, especially after dealing Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi. Congratulations. Now let's move on to the NBA, where no champion has been crowned yet, but we're getting close. The NBA Finals have been set. Before we break that down, let's cover what happened in the conference finals. Starting in the Western Conference, we left off last week with the OKC Thunder having a 2-1 lead over the Minnesota Timberwolves. In Game 4 of the series, the Thunder would squeeze out a win thanks to an MVP performance by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He scored 40 in this one, and in Game 5 it was all Thunder as well, as they stormed into a 30-point win to move on to the NBA Finals. Moving over to the Eastern Conference Final, it was the Indiana Pacers who tied a 2-1 series lead over the New York Knicks. The Pacers stormed into Game 4 with a 3-1 lead, fought back in Game 5 to make it 3-2. You can only hold off the Pacers for so long though, as they would win handily in Game 6, moving them on to the NBA Finals for the second time in their history. The finals kick off on Thursday between now the OKC Thunder and the Indiana Pacers. The Pacers have been underdogs all season and all playoffs, with most experts not even expecting them to make it out of the first round. Favored to lose, as the Thunder, with the MVP Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and 68 wins in the regular season, are looking dominant in these playoffs. But anything can happen in basketball, so tune in next week to the Refresh to see what happens. The NBA isn't the only league that's having its finals though. The NHL Stanley Cup Finals are also starting up next week. Here's a breakdown of the conference finals. Starting up in the Eastern Conference Finals last week, the Florida Panthers were up 3-0 in their series against the Carolina Hurricanes. While the Hurricanes would show some signs of life in Game 4 with a 3-0 win, but at the end of the day, the Panthers were just too dominant, winning the series in 5 games and moving on to the finals. In the Western Conference Finals, we left off last week with the Oilers leading the Dallas Stars 2-1. And the series continued to be all Edmonton, as they won back-to-back games by 3 goals to win the series in 5 and move on to the finals as well. It's a rematch of last year's finals and the Stanley Cup Finals, but will the same outcome occur? Last time it was Florida taking home the series. It's definitely getting deeper and deeper. This year, with tensions even higher, things should be even more exciting. Game 1 is on Wednesday, so tune into the Refresh for the updates. Moving on down, another week means another F1 race, and this week the Spanish Grand Prix, the winner was McLaren's Oscar Piastri, who won his 6th race of the year and a very impressive start for just a 24-year-old. In the second place was fellow McLaren driver Lando Norris, who was Ferrari's Charles Leclerc. The next F1 race is the Canadian Grand Prix, which goes down this Sunday. Another big sporting event that goes down this weekend is UFC 316 on Saturday. The main event for this one was a bantamweight title match between Merab Dvalishvili and Sean O'Malley. The last time these two fight, Merab took the win by decision, so O'Malley will be looking to get revenge and a rematch for this title. The women's bantamweight championship is getting fought for, as well as Juliana Pereira takes on Kayla Harrison. This will be Pena's second match since the start of 2023, so the champion comes into this fight a little bit rusty, and we'll see if Harrison will be able to take advantage. And for our last piece of sports news, the French Open is well underway in tennis and has reached its 4th round. The biggest upset was number 4 Taylor Fritz getting taken down in just the first round against German Daniel Altmaier. Other than Fritz's early elimination, no major upsets have happened on the men's side. On the women's side, however, it's in the 4th round as well. 4-seed Jasmine Poloni got taken down in her 4th round match against number 13 Alina Svitolina, but for the most part, we are upset free. Things are only bound to get more exciting though. Tune into the Refresh next week for an update. And that's it for this week's episode of the Shutter Sports Refresh. I've been your host, Lucky Roberts, and I hope you've learned something today. You can check me, Shutter Sports Media, and the writer for this episode, Finn Noel, right here. Thanks for watching.